If you liked this episode of the Hockey IQ podcast, please leave a like, a comment, and especially review our podcast. If you truly listened all the way to the end and you're listening to this right now, you enjoyed this episode. Please go and give it a 5-star review. That helps us out more than you know. Thank you so much and look forward to the next one. On the Hockey IQ podcast day, we bring on a living legend, Alina Muller. Super excited to have you all the way from Switzerland. So a little bit of a time difference, but glad we could connect.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, you've already won a bronze at the Olympics at age 15. You've now had a little more than a decade to kind of reflect on your journey. Just curious, coming from Switzerland, everyone thinks, big hockey in North America, especially in the women's game, but not so over in Europe. I'm curious what your path was like, going from Switzerland to Northeastern and now into the professional ranks, also in Boston. So curious, your journey.
Yeah, I started playing hockey here in my hometown with the boys. Played until like 18 years old with the boys. There's not really any youth women's hockey, any girls hockey in Switzerland. Still up to now. So I just played with the boys until I wasn't allowed anymore. Until like the under 17 highest boys league here. I was 2 years older than them at the end, but yeah, I was super fast hockey and I could benefit a lot from that. And then I knew if I still wanted to get better and compete at the highest level, the only option really for me is going to college in the US. So yeah, I just made sure that school-wise too, I'm doing my job so I can go to college and study there and play hockey. Because yeah, nowadays I think our league in Switzerland, the women's league, is pretty good. We have 3, 4 good imports per team that come from overseas or other countries in Europe. Yeah, which makes it pretty strong. On the national team now, we have about 80% that play in Switzerland in the league, which is great for the league, but could obviously be better for the national team if more players want to go to the US or play in the against the best players in the world in the highest league possible. Yeah, so then I went to Northeastern, had the time of my life, met Coach Dave Flint, who really cared about me and showed me the way. And yeah, and then luckily, I mean, I had not really an idea what I want to do after college. There was not really any league in North America for women to play in. But then luckily, yeah, this really great PWHL um, was created or started by many great people out there doing hard work. And yeah, I was lucky to had a smooth transition from college right to the PWHL, becoming a pro hockey player. Definitely, if I would have told you or somebody would have told me at I don't know at the age 15, 16 that I could play pro one day, I would have not believed that. I would have taken that right away. But yeah, I went pretty fast and super happy that I can live the life I live now. And I just yeah kept going my way and still believe that I could eventually do what I want to do.
Well, we'll take it a step back. So I want to get into kind of like the dreams and goals. Like, so there's no real women's hockey in Switzerland. So what was it like playing with the boys, even if they're like different ages? Because that's got to be blazing your own path, taking your own way, not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, there were definitely some challenges. I mean, probably know that some boys in the age between 12 and 16 or yeah, sometimes behave a little crazy or a little childish or don't like when a girl is on their team. I was pretty lucky with the coaches I had that supported me. I was pretty lucky with the players I played with on the team. I grew up with them. I yeah, I kind of went on from level to level with them, so it was kind of normal for them that I was part of the team. But the key was always I just needed to be better than them to get a spot. I just needed to prove myself every day that I deserved to be on that team. I probably had to be a little better than the boy that would maybe have my spot, and that prepared me in the end for where I'm at now. I never nothing was ever given to me for free, and definitely a lot of critics out there or people that didn't like if their son wasn't playing but the girl was playing, and I just always earned my spot with my performance on the ice, so nobody could really say anything in the end, and they were yeah, probably happy that I was on the team with them.
Gotta earn your spot. I love that. Just like you're earning things. You're not just expecting things. And the other thing, and this sounds very much like when we had Marty St. Louis on, which is like just needed to get better and just continuously work to get better and be a little bit better than the next person. And then that's how you eventually raise your game to a level that you want it to be at. And you have clearly you're the all-time Hockey East leading scorer, passed it Kendall Coyne, and she's a phenomenal hockey player as well. So it's pretty cool that you're up in that area. I'm curious with that, you're going about improving yourself. Like what did that look like? Every player kind of goes different, and like as a coach, I'm like, uh, development doesn't start and end during practice times or just the games. Like there's so much more. So I'm curious, how did you go about developing yourself?
I think I was lucky that I um, got to play with older players usually. I saw pretty early on what it takes to be good or great at everything, and even just I think the person I am myself, I didn't take the easy route anywhere. I always went up against the best players in practice. I always liked the games where it was tight, and we had to yeah, just focus every shift to do something out there, and not just yeah, play against or be the best player on the team all the time, having the puck all the time, get like 3, 4 goals every game. I think probably it's fun for a while, but you're not really gonna get any better. So for me, I always I loved the competition. Yeah, in everything I did. Just had that obsession pretty early on. I have an older brother. I think I competed with just at home or just any games we played outdoors or anything really. Yeah, I I enjoyed having to beat somebody that is maybe skill wise or is older is better than me, but I had to somehow find a way to beat somebody in another way. Yeah, I think, and in general, then just learning um, at 15 when I first was at the Olympics the first time, playing against the best players in the world. I've never seen women's hockey before I stepped on the ice there at the Olympics, really. It was crazy, and I could see, whoa, okay, the best women are that good. I think, yeah, it still takes a lot of hard work to become nearly as good as them, and it kind of opened my eyes to yeah, to orient myself yeah, towards the best players out there, and not just in my home club or just if I'm the best player on a team. I didn't think I was I reached anything yet.
So it seems like you've mentioned this like a few times, like you needed to kind of see what it looked like, and that translated to how you can better prepare, evolve, have that skill variability of figuring out how can I use my skills to beat the opponent. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think pretty accurate. Not really using or not really thinking about how I can use my skill to beat them, but more what else can I do? Where can I improve to become as good as them, or yeah, to find a way to you get better, get stronger. yeah, just hard work every day.
Uh, so curious of like what work looks like for you. Are you creating your own things? Do you work with folks? What does that training regime look like for you?
Yeah, I train with a lot of different coaches, a lot of different guys. Think um, yeah, until about when I started college, it was all organized by the team. Here in Switzerland, usually train with the team. There's not really any individual sessions, and I think that's a good thing too. I think now we're going too fast. Very detailed and skilled oriented as a kid, just on the ice alone with coaches or I think in the end as a kid you just have to play as many games as possible. You actually have to play and find have to react to stuff, find solutions while the game is going on. You can train as long as you want alone. I'm shooting on a net or doing skill stuff against cones in games. Yeah, the cones are never standing, they're always moving. I think it's I like that I didn't really know about that until I got older. I think since college there was more individualization, working on more detailed stuff, even having individual sessions with coaches on the ice, but off the ice, including video, obviously strength and conditioning training. So since college, I am working with an off-ice coach here at home over the summer. Usually a smaller group of hockey players and even other athletes, some snowboarders, skiers. It's pretty fun to see what they do and just exchange a little bit and see something else than just a team and the same workouts all the time. So I think still trying to find what works best for me, but along the years, definitely learned what makes me feel the best. A mixture between playing games, just playing freely, working on individual skills on the ice, working individual skills off the ice, video, mental coach, nutrition. Yeah, just trying to optimize wherever I can.
Yeah, checking all of the big boxes there. It's a good long list. Um, I'm curious for you over the course of time, like what are maybe if you can give us a sneak peek, what are some of the details you're currently working on or have worked on in the past that you think have been useful or you're looking into acquiring?
Yeah, for sure. I think as the game has become more physical with the women's game too, we're allowed to do body checking and play pretty physical in the PWHL and even internationally. Definitely, yeah, the physique, the readiness off the ice. In the summer, I like to spend a good amount of time off the ice, focusing on healing any nagging issues from skating, from the season, and then really gaining some muscle weight and then getting back on the ice when I feel like I'm back at 90% and then combining on ice and off ice to get that load to get used to that load again for the season. And then on the ice, yeah, during the off season, it's more individual stuff. Definitely working a lot on my shooting. There's still a lot to do for women in hockey to score more goals. Yeah, if you look at, I think the PWHL stats the last 2 years, there were not a lot of goals scored. Definitely great goalies in women's hockey, but there's a strength deficit and a skill deficit in women's hockey for shooting skills, and that's yeah something I try to work on wherever I can, and have skills coaches and mentors that can help me with that. And more, I've been working on a lot of body positioning with the puck, and before getting to the puck, yeah, more efficient and easier puck possession skills and picking pucks off the wall, corner battles, just little details. The higher you play, the more those things matter, and you're not gonna have really there may be like one or two times that you have like a clear one-on-one coming at a D or just have time to do a move. I think it's more like the little plays off the wall in the corner. Yeah, getting to a puck first. Yeah.
All right, I want to pull out two things of things kind of in this section as we're talking about development. Really loved how you're picking the most difficult opponent for you in practice, like never taking the easy way. Doing the hard was actually setting you up so games are easier. So I'm thinking like it's my own experience because I was somewhat similar. Like in college, I never liked taking the easy class. I was like, I'm paying for this. I want to get my money's worth. That might be just the economist in me or someone who likes to get some good value, but just like finding the challenges and like what's the right challenge? Is it some you need someone a little bit easier, someone a little bit harder about you're the same, but as much as possible like I would shuffle kids in line so I can always go against Ethan Juris, is the player I was like to go
Mhm.
against because like he was so much faster than me. He was like the fastest guy in our league, let alone team. I'd have to like beat him twice in order to get a good scoring opportunity on a lot of the one-on-ones. So I love that. And then the second bit around just like working on some of these details. And I'm currently doing some work with some 13-year-olds, and body positioning is just like it's not even in their game. And anytime they come up against a team that does even just a little bit of it, it's such a separating factor. It's amazing. So that position, body positioning before possession, I think is so critical. And then obviously that goes into like how do you do wall work? How do you ensure good defensive habits? And then I'm curious for you to maybe dive in a little bit further on like working on your shot because you're spot on with the goaltending in the women's game is really good, and the technology's helped a little bit with the shot speed and velocity, but it's still very challenging to just beat goalies pretty clean in the women's game.
Yeah, it is very challenging. And I mostly work on releasing the puck as quick as I can. I think the only way for us to really beat the goalies, yeah, is um, with beating them with a quick shot that they're not set yet, not ready yet, off a pass. Do a lot of shooting off a pass as fast as you can, receiving and shooting. And yeah, in the end, again, in I mean, in practice, you maybe skate on net a few times, but with nobody in front of you, nobody behind you, taking your time, shooting the puck. Obviously, if you have that skill and have a great clean shot, even better. But I think for somebody that is already struggling with shooting the puck, well, it's for me, it makes more sense to just practice those in tight shots and quick releases because in games you're rarely gonna have any time to shoot the puck cleanly. It's more about to can release it from any spot possible as quick as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, shots off of I call it off the carry, like you're just carrying the puck and shoot. Like the percentages are just abysmal. They're so bad. But to your point, like just even if it's a not even a great shot, just quickly it makes a huge amount of difference. But the bit that really stuck out to me was like you're not getting off always the clean shot. You know, you're putting yourself in weird body positions as you're practicing, which is more game realistic. It makes me laugh when players are like upset when they get bad practice passes. Like, what do you think you're going to get in a game? Like, if you watch a game or do any film work, you can see that it's very, very rare that you get a really crisp, easy pass that's direct because the other team is trying too.
Yes, definitely.
So just some things. So as I was looking around and asking some folks around like a player profile for you, some things came up. Positive attitude. So I'm curious, have you always just been a positive person? Because I know me growing up, it's been a learned habit to become a more positive person and look at like maybe I say something and it feels great to me, but really it's not very helpful for the situation.
Um, yeah, I think I was brought up by my parents that way. Um, yeah, and I just can't forget where I'm coming from. Again, for me, the opportunity to play in the States, to play at that level, is something very special. I don't get to do this here in Switzerland, and just having, yeah, that grateful mindset helps me putting stuff in relation, and yeah, I think there's we as women in hockey we still do a lot for free, not for the money. There is not really any money in the game yet. Hopefully it's coming soon. But there was always a hobby, and yeah, I was the happiest when I got to play hockey, and still now gotta remind myself that that's the case. And yeah, there's not really any benefit from not being positive, I think, and just yeah, being thankful for all the people that helped me get there, and everybody that yeah works for us so we can live our dreams. So the only really accurate way to say thank you is definitely be positive.
So that thankfulness is kind of behind that positivity. And I heard someone mention also that you like to think about others before going onto the ice so you can just kind of free yourself to play. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I also like to connect and check in with teammates before games too. Yeah, in the end, it's just a game, and it only works out if everybody feels comfortable and confident, and everybody yeah goes the same way and buys in. There's yeah you can't do anything alone, so just yeah remembering yeah again who helped me get to where I am. Yeah, usually definitely thinking about my parents, my brother, my family, just knowing that without them I couldn't be there, and if I the only thing I can always show is 100% effort, and I owe that to them anytime I step on the ice, and that helps me, yeah, put everything in perspective.
That's great perspective. I definitely lost that many times when I'm growing up. And glad it, age has done well. But
Mhm.
another thing that came up is something that people have talked about a lot was your high compete. And I'm guessing it sounds like that's based on wanting to make sure that you don't take anything for granted. But another piece with that high compete was it wasn't a high compete to an extreme where you were undisciplined. Like you're a very disciplined and calculated player.
Yeah, I think there's a learning curve there too. I think I used to get upset really really fast, and I still do sometimes. It's still a work in progress. If you are that competitive, it's clear that yeah, I hate to lose. Just yeah, I get upset if I just lose a puck battle. But again, you have to learn that that doesn't help you if you get upset during a game. You can be upset afterwards, but there's yeah not really any benefit if you yeah if you're mad during a game. So there's definitely still a learning curve. Yeah. Wait, and now I lost. What did you ask again?
No, it's just around you've got high compete and
Oh,
discipline. Like it's sometimes opposite ends of the spectrum. Because I've got some players that played for me, and they've got this great high compete, but also they get really frustrated easily. They take maybe some bad penalties that you wouldn't want to see. And it seems like you've been able to manage yourself to a point where you understand the discipline and what's helpful to make sure that that compete doesn't turn into taking away from your performance.
Yes, and one thing is taking away from my performance, but also hurting the team. Definitely, what you never want to do is hurting the team with your actions. And I think yeah, that's something that is learned pretty easily, especially if you have good leaders on the team or you have somebody that says something if somebody hurts the team with their actions. And yeah, I've definitely been there, and so that was pretty easy to learn. Yeah, but the other thing again is still work in progress. Sometimes getting upset about the referee's call or just something not going my way. I think that's natural too, but the better you can handle it, the better player you'll become.
Yeah, Djokovic, the tennis player, is always like, I feel
Hmm.
the same emotions. Just as I've aged, I've been able to get through them a little bit faster, which I was like, yeah, that's pretty true. Like they're still in there, but how do you manage them is so much different.
Yeah, I remember him saying that too. That he says, yeah, the emotions are there. You can't not have those emotions after a missed hit or something. But the way you can recover from a mistake or the way you can quickly refocus is yeah, that makes a difference between good and great, for sure.
All right, this might be a quick note of the question here, but another thing that came up was you've got a high hockey IQ, high hockey sense. Um, have you consciously studied the game, or is it more of like a Wayne Gretzky, just so intuitive that like, you can't even like verbalize it particularly well?
Ah, I think it's a bit of both. Yeah, I'm a big believer that you gotta have some sort of hockey IQ naturally. It's hard to learn for sure. But I also watch a ton of hockey every day. I love to watch hockey. I love to do video on my shifts, but also just analyzing any game or other people's game. And yeah, I think what helps me too is just being very intentional in practice. Yeah, I hate that phrase going through the motions. I think there are too many players out there in practice. The yeah, coach says you got to turn here and shoot the puck. They just turn and shoot the puck. Somehow, maybe somebody told me that once. I don't remember when it really stuck with me, but wherever I do something in practice, I do it game like. I imagine a scenario where I'm on the ice during the game in that situation. Like, what can I add? Where do I have my head up? Where do I look? Yeah, where do I add a move? Some deception. Yeah, I think that helps elevate the way you play the game too.
That is a that is those are practice habits that are of the elite. Saying like, oh, I'm gonna figure out where I need to look if this is a game situation. Been around a lot of hockey players, but that is extremely rare. Glad that you have that because I wish I could take that out and put that into many other players. So like it makes a lot of sense how you've always been able to continuously get better and improve because you're thinking and looking at the right stuff. So I really like that. We've talked a little bit about this as well, just kind of like as you're preparing, what does practice look like? What's off ice look like? But it seems like you're very similar to one of the stories I heard about Wayne Gretzky is when he was a kid, he would literally throw his hockey bag in the garage for the summer and go play baseball and be a kid. So he was never like overly into it. He had a nice balance, a good perspective when he did come back to hockey. Like he was super excited. It sounds like you're taking a good bit of time away to reset, recharge.
Yes, I always say my biggest luck, honestly, in life is that my parents had nothing to do with hockey. Um, they did not know, yeah, how hockey works. I mean, they knew the game, but like how many practices there are, and how much of time they have to they have to spend yeah, driving my brother and me everywhere. We lived right close to a hockey rink, like we could walk with the bag, with the rolly bag to the rink. They said otherwise you wouldn't have been allowed to start playing hockey. They're like, no, we're not gonna drive you every day, hours to practice and back. So definitely lucky, and yeah, I have to say I love that approach because they never pushed us to go on the ice or do that extra or their extra. They just wanted us to do what we like to do. And um, yeah, I remember my brother when he was younger. There here in Switzerland, you have over summer vacation. There's like a week of um, like free sports camps that you can attend. And at the same week, there was the hockey camp of his, I don't know, under 12s or somewhat. And he wanted to go to the other camp, just playing sports, being in nature. You would do like any kind of sport out there for a week. And then he was like the best player on his hockey team, but he was like, no, in the summer, I wanna go do play other sports, um, and then he had to sit the first few games because he didn't attend the camp. I think it's absolutely insane. Like he had to go, I think, a level down, and he was already the best at his top level. So it was just a joke, and I'm a big supporter of just do other sports, move your body a different way than you do all year long. It also helps when you go back on the ice that you're really hungry to go back on the ice and not you're not already tired before the season even starts.
Yeah, because the season at some point becomes a bit of a grind for any player. So I've got to imagine if you've got a little bit of a fuller tank going into the season, you'll be able to manage those a lot better. I'm curious, just like how do you manage that grind of the season where it's usually I call it the February grind in the NHL, where it's just before playoffs. So you're not quite excited for the playoffs, but it's still so far away from the start of the season where you're starting to get kind of run down. And there's obviously a lot of monotony that comes into being great and wonderful at any sport or any endeavor in life. Curious what that looks like for you.
Yeah, I don't think it always looks the same. It also depends how the season is going. I mean, if you are on a roll and winning every game, or if the team is doing well, it's definitely easier to go through the year. The last 2 years we had twice a really tough stretch with losses in a row, and your body just feels heavier, you feel more sore, you're in your head, it's spinning, you don't sleep as much, you try to change stuff. um I think that's pretty tough, and that in that situation, I just beforehand try to go through every scenario possible with mental performance coaches, strength coaches, on ice coaches, just going through possible scenarios that can happen. So when it happens, you're more prepared, you know how to react. Um, and yeah, it just comes with experience too, for sure. First year as a pro with traveling, I've never traveled to so many games before. More games, yeah, longer times at the rink. Maybe it's definitely a difference. Yeah, in the end, obviously a lot of it is mindset. If you are a confident person, if you have the support you need, I think you can manage everything that comes your way. And it's also okay if you can manage it one time, you will learn from it, and the next time you will do better. So I think it also just comes with the years you're playing.
Uh, yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's like you're almost overthinking it when you go through those stretches where it's really tough. You're like, well, what if I change this? What if I change that? And sometimes you get away from what made you successful in the first place, and
Yeah.
what'll bring you success going forward. And I like the other thing you mentioned, which was just putting yourself mentally through scenarios of like, oh, I get a puck. Where am I looking? What am I trying to do? Just so you can play a little bit faster. The game slows down mentally, and then you can start really noticing maybe some details that will really be effective in your performance levels. So, yeah, the grind is real, and like you said, it's a lot easier when things are going well, and when it's not, it's a heck of a weight to bear for quite some time until things get righted. Um, you,
Hmm.
you mentioned working with like a bunch of different coaches, and I'm curious, mental performance coaches tend to come in later in life when you're ready to handle those types of things. So I'm curious, just for you, what have been some things you've taken away from Mabel, your mental performance coaches, and how you handle the game?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say I've started, yeah, about 8, 10 years ago, working with mental performance coaches. It's first of all, it's hard to find the one you think helps you the most. It's definitely also trying out and seeing if it works. You can always change it up. So definitely had a few coaches. But now, since about 3 years, I really love working with that guy. They hired him through the Boston Fleet too, and yeah, he's awesome. We work constantly together. I think it's one thing that people or players sometimes, in my opinion, do wrong is just working with mental coaches and it's not going right, or when something is wrong. I like to yeah, there's always stuff you can work on even if everything is great. Again, you can just imagine scenarios, or work even on your strength with your mental coach. It's not always if something is not going right. I mean, you're not going in the gym only when you're weak. You're going in the gym all year long, and that should be the case for your mental gym too. And I think we touched on it before. At the moment, the biggest focus we're working on is, yeah, how to bounce back from mistakes, how to control my emotions. Yeah, the best way. In the end, yeah, if you spend as least amount of time as possible about a missed shot or missed opportunity, yeah, you're gonna play 10 times better. And yeah, so how to recover from mistakes is on the top list. But then just challenges that come up throughout the year. Um, yeah.
How do we bounce back? Because life's gonna get us in, we call it the gut punch, right? Like you're gonna have some adversity. So I love a good quote from an old U.S. president, John F. Kennedy. It was like the best time to work on your roof is not when it's raining. Like you need to do the work during the sunny days, not just when it's pouring outside.
Yeah, I like to work with Coach Daryl Belfry. He's one of the best development coaches in the world. And he told me something similar too that really made sense. He's like, on the ice, change something when it's going well. Usually players change something when it's not going well, but the mindset or the state of mind you're in when it's going well is like you're most creative, you're most um arousal, there's some excitement, and if you change something at that point, yeah, there's just way better possibility that it's going well, or the change can help you, or lasts longer, instead of changing when it's not going well.
Yeah, changing when you absolutely have to versus willfully exploring.
Yep.
Big difference. The last thing I had, but open to anything else you think we should talk about or dive into, or things you think would be helpful, is just around nutrition. Because eventually it takes some people longer than others. You are what you eat. I had a player this past season. I've been just continuously talking with him about improving his diet because he's always tired and he's always like, I'm like, okay, so what are you eating? And he just lists off a bunch of things where the number one ingredient or second ingredient on that list is sugar. Like, okay, well, maybe there's an issue there. So let's just uptake more protein and things like that. So one, it was really good for his energy levels. He's looking stronger, being able to have longer durations of performance. So I'm just curious for you, what does nutrition look like? And I was talking with a former professional women's player, and she was like, I just all in on protein. For me, that would never work, but that's maybe why I'm a little bit on the skinnier side.
Yeah, and I think in our sport, the carbs are as important as the protein. Very, very intense. Yeah, sport. So you need that energy, and it only comes from good carbohydrates. Um, Again, I think I got brought up in a really good household where my mom cooked every day for us. I think that's one thing that definitely helped me, that I never struggled with nutrition or I never not really times where we had to eat fast food or stuff like that. It was always healthy. Um yeah, so I just kept keeping that, and in the end I think you just feel, you know how you feel when you eat something bad and something good. It's not a secret. You feel different performance wise. So it's not for everybody the same. So again, you gotta find out what's best and try different things out. And again, ask for help. Wherever I can, yeah, talk to nutritionists, optimize my nutrition with supplements too. Especially I think as a woman, with the menstrual cycle and the hormones. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how it affects our bodies, and with nutrition you can work against that for sure. Um, yeah, and every summer I try, yeah, I do a big draw blood and look at where the deficiencies are, optimize anything possible, and yeah, trying to eat well balanced. I don't follow any specific diet, but especially eating enough. I think yeah, there's a lot of Instagram stuff out there, just loading on protein, counting calories, and not really eating enough. And it's a little dangerous for the younger generation. You need more energy than you think you need to really perform. And yeah, it's a little sad, and I hope it goes the other way again.
Yes, super important. So we've talked a lot of different areas. Curious if there's anything that stuck out to you or anything we missed that you'd love to add.
Um, Maybe just one thing that I thought about when I got approached by you guys, being on Hockey IQ podcast. I think for maybe younger players too, but any player, the importance of the game without the puck. I think there's too much focus on what to do with the puck, the skills when the puck is on your stick. But I think there was recently a stat out of McDavid. He has probably the puck the most on his stick, any player really does, and it was somewhat about 3 minutes a game, and he has ice time about 25 minutes a game. So like the other 20 minutes are probably even more important, or as important as the 3 minutes that he has the puck on his stick. And when you watch hockey, I like to also look what the players do without the puck. There's so much you can do and help your team out, even if you're not the player that has the puck all the time. Yeah, on his stick, just setting picks, creating lanes, driving the net. Yeah, it's so much easier for a puck carrier if your teammates do something when they don't have the puck.
Yeah, just like support positionings, and I love that you're mentioning about driving lanes. Like, it may not be the most glorious job in the world. You're probably not going to get a point with it, but you're really serving your teammates well. I always like to call that tactical empathy. Like you're doing something that's very empathetic for your team
I like
tactically
that.
by going into spaces. May not come with the points and recognition, but everyone on the team knows that was a big play. I feel like those are the teammates I always loved the most, the ones that did the dirty work, that may not have been the most talented. but always put in an effort that made everyone's lives a little bit easier, and really
Yeah.
actually ended up driving performance without even touching a puck. It's amazing.
Yep.
Another thing with like the game without the puck is like that I always look for, and maybe you've noticed this too, is like the players that consistently do the same things over and over again versus those that do it every often. Like the consistency tends to lead to better performance. And one of the reasons I think that is just like there's the expectancy of your teammates because they know where you're going to be, they know where to go, they know where to look, right? Like they're putting their eyes in the areas that they think you're going to be. And if it's always somewhere different, it's very challenging for them versus if they pick up their head and, oh, you're there because you're always there. That's an absolute massive advantage. And you're going to get more puck time. Maybe not to McDavid's 3 minutes. That's actually incredibly high. But it's so important for not only your game, their game, the team game, and overall performance in general.
Yep. I agree. It's great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. This was a wonderful conversation. I think it's going to be super helpful for a lot of players. Thanks for sharing what's going on in your world and your brain, how you approach the game, because there's so many little nuggets that I think people can take away, whether it be the practice habits, thinking about nutrition, mental and physical preparation for games. This is it's been wonderful.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was very nice meeting you.
That concludes this week's episode. Thanks for joining us here at Hockey IQ. If you haven't already, take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and drop a review. If you want to be a great teammate, even recommend us to a friend. You can follow us at Hockey's Arsenal on Twitter and Instagram. Check out the website hockeysarsenal.com where you can subscribe to the weekly newsletter. You won't regret it. Catch you buttes here next week for a brand new episode.